Yo, baby walk, welcome. Hey, amazing boy, welcome. First time chat. What? What? Amazing boy? Hello. Okay. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in, welcome in. How's everybody doing? Hey, my clothes brush, how are you? How are you? We're going to start off today with the statement I just went live with. Yeah, still no TikTok. Tomorrow. Hey, Doug, welcome. We're going to start off with the statement I made today about my brother. And then we're going to go into learning about the Rwandan genocide. Today is about education on previous genocides to see what we can learn about today's one. How's everybody doing? Welcome in. Friends, familia. Hey, why is my stream elements coming here? Hey, Lisa, welcome. Welcome, Lisa. How are you? Whoa, 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 whoa. Welcome, everybody. Okay. So we're going to start off with this. Let's give people a little bit of time to join. No audio? Can you not hear me? What? Hello? Can you guys hear me? Okay. I think there is audio, guys. I think there is audio. Okay. Oh, what a 24 hours it's been after that rant yesterday. I felt like I should restart. And I should set the, hey, Shiny, welcome. I feel like I should restart and set it all up again. You know, do this the right way instead of just being pissed off at my brother for his behavior. I thought that I would go out with a statement and make it clear what my position is instead of, just reacting the way I did yesterday. I think it's unfair for this community in particular that I react that way. Hey, Scars. So I've made a public statement, everybody. I've made a public statement, and this is what it looks like, okay? I'm going to read it to you. I am deeply embarrassed that my brother, Nikhil Ravishankar, the CEO of Air New Zealand, is helping build commercial relationships with Narendra Modi's government while remaining publicly silent on Israel's genocide in Gaza. This is not simply my personal description. A UN commission of inquiry has concluded that Israeli authorities are committing genocide in Gaza, and major human rights organizations have reached that same conclusion. Modi's government has maintained close strategic, military, and commercial ties with Israel throughout that genocide. My brother is entitled to remain silent. I am entitled to say I'm entitled to say that his silence, alongside his public relationship building with Modi's government, causes me profound shame. Being related to the CEO does not disqualify me from scrutinizing Air New Zealand. It makes the scrutiny more difficult, not less necessary. Family connections do not erase public accountability. Okay, so that is my position on this. That is my statement. I will read it again a bit later in the live as well. Hey Sahali, welcome. I will read it again a little bit later in the live, and yeah, there'll be I think more people can hear this particular thing. I'm changing my approach because I just don't think it's necessary. Like, in the field of public opinion, I don't need to treat. Does LinkedIn not have dark mode yet? I don't think it's necessary to, go full noisy immigrant on my brother. We'll do it bit by bit. But fuck, bro, I am so embarrassed that in my family, I am so embarrassed, and I am so deeply hurt by the fact that someone in my family is building relationships with these people, implementing grave human rights violations. And I don't expect every relationship to be clean, but I at least expect a backbone and to be able to speak out about it, especially when you have a platform and you have power. It's deeply embarrassing to me. Hey, Kara Kick, welcome. It's deeply embarrassing to me, and just a shameful moment in my experience being a member of this family. So be it. It's happened, right? It's happened. So now we have to let people know, because genocide's not okay. Even if your own family doesn't find the voice to speak out about it, that doesn't make it okay. Doesn't matter what their role is. Speaking out is the least we can do. Anyway, I will read that statement out a bit later again. But for now, we're going to move into learning a little bit about how genocide step by step works through analysis of the genocide in Rwanda. I found this incredible documentary that I think that we should all, that we should all familiarize ourselves with, because it has some incredible information. So this is Apocalypse Rwanda, Inside the Genocide. Incredible documentary, everybody. And tomorrow we'll be back on TikTok as well, so I can reveal my statement to more people on TikTok tomorrow as well. Okay, let's get into it. Let me just say this too, that how I approach this publicly and how I approach this personally with my brother are different. He is my brother after all. So how we talk personally is going to be very different. But I'm going to make it very clear to everybody why I'm upset. Through everything necessary to understand um, this particular event, what led to this event. We are also going to go through what's happened after as well. But this is I thought this was a great description of this whole chapter. Horrific, but must understand. This is hey Krabby, chill in the chat for a bit. Chill in the chat, man. This is hey Matt, welcome. This is I think this explanation of how Rwanda got to where it was just crazy. Yeah, I think when you see it, you'll be like, oh fuck, not this shit again.
In this small
Oh shit! Oh, it's Belgium again, folks. It's fucking Belgium again. Oh my gosh. Just listen to this. Listen to how Belgium did this, and you'll understand how European colonization did this. The Belgians created this race hierarchy. A story as old as, 600 years. This is not even that long ago, folks. This race hierarchy implementation is very, I guess, it's done to do this. It's done to cause exactly these sorts of divisions. A story as old as time, not based on skin, not based on race, Krabby. It's been done not based on race. Race is very much an invention of the Europeans in the mid 1400s. But race as a policy is an implementation of the Europeans. So let's not conflate things. Let's not say, oh, it's always been done. What the fuck you're talking about now? I just feel like you're being a passive-aggressive racist. Either stop typing dumb shit or we will mute you. Man, hold on. How do we mute? Shiny, can you mute, please? Can you just mute this guy? Person. Wait, right now, this guy, the president of the Republic of Rwanda, you're going to hear about this guy's story. Hey, Cass, welcome. You're going to hear about this guy's story. Just also note that today, Paul Kagame is funding M23 rebels in the Congo, in the Democratic Republic of Congo. So the cycle continues. The cycle continues because leaders like this continue to strip the good people of Africa's ability to survive and live in peace and liberation. It's people like this. But you're going to see him in this documentary. He is an important figure, no doubt. There, because her parents were missionaries, she didn't talk about it much, but recently I learned that once Mobutu's troops dug a trench in their backyard to fight rebels. Holy shit. Cass, you have to tell that story somehow. Oh shit. YouTube, we can't watch this video on YouTube. Unfortunately, we cannot watch this video on YouTube. Oh no. We can watch this on Twitch, but not on YouTube apparently. It's okay. It's okay. We'll come back. Every time I hear Zaire, I remember a man I used to drive who introduced himself as Jim from Zaire. Oh shit, really? Hey, Seven Sign. Salam alaikum. Walaikum assalam, sorry. Welcome. Okay, man. fuck, that messes up the plan completely. I was wanting to show that documentary, but I can't show that documentary on YouTube. It looks like. He was a cool human. I hope he's well. Oh, nice kitty splaying. My first French teacher was from Zaire. Oh. Your first French teacher. Hey, Manda, you got a 5-stream streak. Holy moly. Hold up, guys. Let's we're gonna get we're gonna get railroaded, I think, by YouTube if we keep going. Wow. YouTube has really like turned it off completely. Bruh, YouTube. Twitch stole my streak again. Well, you're just going to have to restart everything, you know? You're just going to have to start streaking again. Madame Bywaters. Yeah. Oh, gosh. Bro, YouTube. I'm not even playing it anymore. Stop. Anyway, let me restart this live.
New follower detected.
Let me restart this live. Vidal Crowley said, "Oh, Crowley, you're here now. Hello. Did something happen to at Noisy Immigrant's brother? No. No. He's doing very well. Hold up. Oh, it's back. Nice. Okay, it's back. All right, let's restart. Let's restart from the beginning. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. It looks like we can't watch that documentary. That's okay. We're fine. Welcome. From the top. Hello. Let's just play the intro again as well. Why don't we just play the intro again as well? Eh? Oh, damn. Welcome in, chat. Welcome in. Okay, today we are going to start off. New here, who this? We're going to start off with... Man, I was really hoping that we could watch that Rwanda doco. It's okay. It's okay. We'll be fine. Okay, so I want to start off today with a statement, a public sort of statement. I have gathered my thoughts after yesterday's rant and vent. I needed yesterday. I really needed yesterday. But then I thought I should reset my thoughts, and begin on this journey of revealing my feelings about this situation with my brother to the public in a way where I can have a constructive discussion, not just an angry rant. Okay? So this is a public statement that I've made. A public statement that I've made that I think keeps it respectful, but also gets the message that I want to get across. So I am deeply embarrassed that my brother, Nikhil Ravishankar, the CEO of Air New Zealand, is helping build commercial relationships is helping build commercial relationships with Narendra Modi's government while remaining publicly silent on Israel's genocide in Gaza. This is not simply my personal description. A UN Commission of Inquiry has concluded that Israeli authorities are committing genocide in Gaza, and major human rights organizations have reached the same conclusion. Modi's government has maintained close strategic, military, and commercial ties with Israel throughout that genocide. My brother is entitled to remain silent. I am entitled to say that his silence, alongside his public relationship building with Modi's government, causes me profound shame. Being related to the CEO does not disqualify me from scrutinizing Air New Zealand. It makes the scrutiny more difficult, not less necessary. Family connections do not erase public accountability. Okay, so this is my public statement. This is what is going to kickstart. This is what is going to kickstart my sort of I'm going to be talking about this a lot more across many different across all social platforms. I'm going to talk about it very clearly, about the fact that my brother has remained silent about genocide. He is a CEO with a huge platform, and his voice could, add a lot. It could bring attention to a genocide that is largely being forgotten again. So I'm going to continue on this path, guys. And I think whatever I feel about my brother, personally, I think I have to move beyond that a little bit and start to truly zero in on the thing that matters, and that those are the Palestinian people, not me. So I'm going to continue on this path. And you worried that if he speaks up too much, he may lose his role as a CEO. Okay, how about we all sit next to a person sitting under a bomb in a tent in Gaza, and then tell them, well, you know what? The CEO of Air New Zealand, we're scared because he can't speak out. He may lose his job. What do you think? What do you think? Are you fucking kidding me? You're worried for him that he may lose his job? Who gives a... Oh my gosh. Who... Like, I can't believe someone said that. It's like, I'm worried that he may lose his job. Imagine saying that about the Holocaust. Yeah, Nancy Pelosi voted against sending bombs, bro. Nancy fucking Pelosi. But also, just to be clear, Nancy Pelosi did it because she knew it was safe. She did it, but she knew it was safe, that it would come to nothing. So just so, to get this out of the way, my brother got the job 8 months ago, eight or so months ago, I think. And I haven't made any public statements regarding my feeling about his views about the genocide in Gaza until now. And I'm doing it now because Modi came to Aotearoa, New Zealand, after he after he signed a trade deal with New Zealand. New Zealand signed a trade deal with India, sorry. And as part of the delegation that helped with that trade deal, my brother and his company were involved. I don't know if the company was involved, but he went there as the CEO of Air New Zealand. So, yeah, he played a role. He played a pretty significant role, too, I think. So, I think it's important to speak up. Salam, Jujus. Welcome. He has to speak up. Like, there's no doubt that this is not something he can keep silent about. You know, he has to do something. He has to speak up, or at least create a fund for Gaza. Like, it is, it's so insane to think that these people haven't called it a genocide. It shows you how self-preserving we've all become as a human race. It's all about like how we can take care of ourselves. When, you know, I've spent three years talking to people on the ground in Gaza, documenting what's been going on in the genocide, and I can tell you, once you see it, once you see all of those babies blown to pieces, like you start to get a different perspective. And a lot of people have just been avoiding it. I don't think you can avoid it anymore. If you have any influence, if you have any platform. I mean, I've spoken up about Jacinda Ardern too, right? Jacinda Ardern not using her platform to speak up about genocide in Gaza is frankly pathetic. And it's so insane that these people are touted as these great leaders of the future, but they can't do the simple human thing of speaking up for people who are literally being exterminated. You know, like, or when they call it a purity test as if it should be on the back burner or some shit. Yeah. Like, of course it's a purity test, bro. Like, yeah. We want you to say that you're against genocide. Is that too much to ask? I think it's the only test. It's a generational test that the Palestinians and Sudanese and you know, the people in the Congo, they've all sacrificed so much to basically give us this generational filter of like, bro, how decent are you as a human being? This 1 min lockout of commenting sucks. 10 minutes. Hey, Crowley. It just means, Crowley, that you know, people stick around. It's not just like a bot waiting to say dumb shit, you know? Yeah, it does blow my mind that it's the bar. But this is the world we live in, you know? This is the world we live in. It has become the bar, unfortunately. Hey.
So there we are.
There we go. All right, let's just we're gonna have to change our tact on the live today. It was supposed to be about the genocide in Rwanda, but YouTube doesn't want to play nice. We're gonna do some updates. Then we're gonna understand what's happening in Iran, and we'll look at some economic impacts of the blockage of the Strait of Hormuz. We'll come back.
The U.S. and
We'll come back to my statement and next steps.
Mass gift subs detected. Thank you for bringing more people into the noisy crew. Your efforts are noted.
Oh my gosh. 20 Cypher? 20 gift subs? Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, Cypher. Thank you. Thank you. Wow. For my 100 stream streak, you missed. Oh shit! 100 stream streak?
So there we are.
Globalized intifada.
Hype train detected. We are chugging. Let's keep this momentum going. Let's go.
Hype train. Let's go, folks. Let's go. Let's get in. Let's get in. Cypher, thank you so much. Oh my gosh. That is incredible.
Gift sub detected. Sharing is caring. You shared. You cared.
Matt, thank you so much for the gift sub. Amazing. Amazing, folks. Amazing. Thank you. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the continued support. I mean, this is such a great community. Thank you so much for helping me keep going as well. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I can't stop saying it. Thank you. Let's get into Iranian civilians bear the brunt of escalating US strikes.
In Iran have again traded tit-for-tat strikes, and it's civilians who are increasingly bearing the brunt of the attacks. Missiles and bombs are being fired in the early hours of the morning. That means warning alarms are disrupting people's sleep right across the region. They also create uncertainty for school and work. Final exams for students in 6 regions in Iran have been postponed, and the American attacks are starting to cause a growing number of civilians.
Thank you for bringing more people into the Noisy Crew. Your efforts are noted.
Shiny, thank you for the 5 gifted subs. Shiny, thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you so much, Shiny. I appreciate that. Thank you. Oh my gosh, so many people. So lucky. Welcome in, everybody.
And casualties. Well, for the very latest, we're going to bring in Rasul Sirda, who's live for us in Tehran. And Rasul, if we can start with the rising death toll and injuries there.
Well,
Marie, thank you. Thank you, Marie.
indeed. So now, according to the Ministry of Health here in Iran, throughout the last week's attacks that conducted by the United States, at least 35 civilians were killed and 7 soldiers, and over 300 people so far are injured. And these numbers are now being updated, so in the coming hours and days they could go higher. But just to give an overall picture of the war, now, last year in June, so 1,062 people were killed. And then during the latest war that lasted nearly for 40 days, 3,375 people were killed. Just remember the opening sequence of the latest war. It was quite dramatic. So 156 children were killed in Minab prime.
Yeah, so one of the reports that came out, guys, is that the U.S. struck a child cancer facility. I'll bring up reports about that.
Primary school. So when we are looking at these numbers, indeed, so now Iranians are having that bitter memories of that. And today we have just received another report that in Ahwaz, so a vicinity of a hospital was hit and the hospital has been evacuated, and reportedly that was a children's hospital. It's not confirmed, but some of the reports are suggesting that it was a children's school. So the numbers.
Child cancer hospital reportedly evacuated amid U.S. strikes on Ahvaz. Area surrounding Bakay Cancer Hospital in the southwestern Iranian city of Ahvaz have been hit in a missile attack, says an Iranian official. A children's cancer hospital in Iran. Imagine the coverage in Western media if it was a children's hospital in Israel. Yeah. It's the systemic racism of this whole thing. It's so stark. We see it every day.
Are quite high when it comes to the death or the injuries, and so it is definitely disrupting the life over here.
Yeah, I mentioned that final exams are being postponed for many students there. Can you just give us a more of an understanding of how everyday life is really being disrupted right now?
Well, so far compared to the 40 days war, of course, majority or overwhelming majority of the U.S. attacks is focused in and around the Gulf and Strait. So seeing that starting from Ahwaz all the way down to Chabahar, and particularly in these places. So what we're seeing is that the life is under bombardments. And as a result of that, now the Ministry of Education has postponed the exams for the grade 12 students in particularly 3 provinces, Hormozgan, Bushehr, Khuzestan. And also in some schools in Sistan and Balochistan province as well. So they were scheduled to be held on 16 and 18 of July, but now they have been postponed to a later date. So then the officials, when they feel the environment is safe, then the students could go back to their schools, so they will come up with a new date that they can graduate from the high schools. And so now in Tehran or in the northern of the country, central of Iran.
By the way, while all of this is happening, Israel is bombarding the crap out of Gaza again. Like it's mass murder again.
Still, there are not major disruption in the life, but definitely in the coastal provinces. So the life is happening, is continuing under a war condition, and officials are concerned about the safety of the students as a precaution. So they have canceled these exams. And we are talking about hundreds of thousands of the students here indeed.
Okay, thank you so much for that, Risal. Risal Surta for us in Tehran.
Yeah. Gaza is turning like, what do I mean turning, right? Like it's been there it's been in this genocide for so long, but it's just an increase in bombing again. It's nuts. The body count again is going up well over, well into the double digits.
The Strait of Hormuz may not be the only vital waterway turned flashpoint in the war between the U.S. and Iran. Tehran has warned that if Washington's naval blockade continues, it could use its Houthi allies in Yemen to shut the Bab el-Mandeb gateway to the Red Sea. Now, the narrow Bab el-Mandeb waterway links the Red Sea to the Gulf of Aden. When the U.S.-Israeli war against Iran first closed the Strait of Hormuz, Saudi Arabia diverted more than 70% of its oil exports to the Red Sea path. Now, if both of the region's major oil export routes were to be shut simultaneously, it could cripple global trade in ways that this war has so far not seen.
Man, they should just do it. Honestly, they should just do it. Hey, Lava, I have added those changes you requested. Hey, Joshua, welcome. I have added those changes you requested. Take a look and let me know. This is just too much, man. Someone has to do something about this fucking genocide. It's just too much.
Joining me now is Arab Arantari, founder and director general of the Al-Quds Center for Political Studies in Amman, Jordan. He's a veteran analyst of Middle Eastern politics. Mr. Arantari, it's good to have you with us. When Iran says that no country in the region will be allowed to export energy if Iran cannot, should Gulf government, should they treat that as just bluster, or should they see that as a declaration that their own energy infrastructure is now a legitimate Iranian target?
Thank you for having me in this show.
Hoping to do some stuff this weekend, on for a bit at now, and then date night with my wife. Oh, geez, Lava. Have a wonderful date night. Shucks. Good for you. Well deserved.
So I think this is an essential pillar in the Iranian strategy. It was, they made it very clear from the early beginning of this war. If Iran is not allowed to export its oil, nobody in the region can export its oil. Energy is one of the major battlefields from the Iranian strategic perspective. Iran understands that it will lose the war with the United States if it is limited to its own geography. and it followed military tools only. That's why they expand their threats, and they include 5 to 6 to 7 sometimes countries within this war to pressure the administration and to achieve their goals.
You know, much of the attention has focused on the Strait of Hormuz, but Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates, they have pipelines that are designed to bypass the strait.
Bro, why the fuck do you keep talking about India? What is your deal? Bro, do you just come here and talk about India? What's the fucking deal, bro? We're literally talking about the Red Sea. What do you want, Krabby Joe?
Is Iran now threatening those pipelines?
I think so. During the 40 days war, I think they said very, very serious messages to Saudi Arabia. They attacked Fujairah in the Emirates and they attacked Yanbu in Saudi Arabia. But it was a symbolic attack.
Yeah, but you're just randomly... South Africa is in on it. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
At that time, just the messages. If Iran approach what's so-called Samson option, the worst case scenario in their confrontation with the United States, yes, I think they will do it. If not they themselves, I think they have allies in Yemen who will be able and easily succeed to target, especially the east-west pipeline of Saudi Arabia. And they have experience before attacking Aramco, as far as you know.
And do you think that that is likely, that Iran will trigger the use of the Houthi rebels in Yemen?
Yeah, this was on the table from day one, but the question is about timing, when they will join the war against the United States, Israel, and we saw the Houthis at the last days of the war start attacking Israel. Some accident in the Bab el-Mandab Strait, and I think they are reserved to the Samson option scenario, as I mentioned before, because in that case, Saudi Arabia, Emirates will be the main targets, not only Bab el-Mandab Strait.
You know as well as I do that Iran doesn't have to destroy the entire energy network. I mean, it just needs one successful strike on a refinery or a pipeline, and that would frighten away tanker crews and insurers. I mean, has the threat itself, has it become almost as powerful as the weapons?
Yeah, I think so. And we can see the results from the oil prices in the international markets, from the stock markets as well. Threats sometimes enough rather than to use the actual military force. But I do believe, and we have experienced it in the 40 days war, when Yanbu received a missile from Iran or from Yemen, we don't know yet. The Saudi production of oil declined from 7 million barrels a day in this pipeline to almost 2 million barrels, which is rare enough to for the local markets. Yes, I agree.
But what about the price of fish in China? Oh, Mr. Anderson, welcome. What about the price of fish in China, everybody? What about the fucking price of fish in China?
With you, one successful strike is enough to change the rules of the game.
Let me ask you about the way things look from where you are, from Jordan's perspective. I mean, how dangerous is this?
Crisco, thank you. Thank you so much, Crisco. Does fish mean oil? No, bro. No. No. Oh, shit. Now I have to rethink everything.
Moment. I mean, Jordan hosts American forces. It intercepts missiles, and it lies close to several potential fronts in this conflict. Is Tehran beginning to treat Jordanian airspace and territory as part of the battlefield.
I mean, why wouldn't they, right? Jordan is so, has been so, I mean, it's shooting down Iranian missiles headed at Israel. Jordan has provided so much support to Israel over the years as well. Like, the Jordanian leadership have been very much a vassal state for a long time, very much bought out by Western powers. It's yeah, I mean, Jordan, but the Dow, yeah, Jordan. I'm surprised it's taken this long for Iran to target Jordan, but here we are.
So there we are.
Tension escalated in the last few days, and we saw an official Iranian threats to Jordan that if they didn't succeed to stop the Americans using the Jordanian soil and airspace, Jordan will be a target. Yes, it is a risky situation for Jordan. Jordan didn't choose this war, but Jordan have no other option but to defend itself, its sovereignty, its airspace, its soil. That's why we find ourselves as a country in the middle of this war, hoping that this will be finished soon by returning back to negotiation table and comply with the MOU signed by the two parties. But until that moment, yes, there is a serious risk.
So everyone's blaming this, the fact that the MOU is too abstract and isn't specific enough, and it's just too short. And no, the problem that's happening here isn't the MOU. It didn't matter what document was signed. It's not the document. It's American ego. It's American imperialist ego. Ultimately, America wanted to get the best it could out of this. And anything worse than how it was before Trump started this war would be seen as a loss. And that's the way it's heading. That's the way it's heading. The loss here, I just have to say this. America is lashing out at Iran because Iran isn't giving America in particular the deal that it wants. The problem, however, please just mute this person. Honestly, I read the comments, guys, all the time, but if someone just keeps typing this fucking trash, I'm just going to get distracted over and over again. What value are you adding, Krabby? What are you adding? What's the value? Always think about it. What value are you adding to the conversation? Are you adding any value that people here didn't know? Or are you saying something that people want to hear? Firstly, you repeated what I'm saying. You're talking about Israel's manifest destiny. I don't actually think you know about what manifest destiny stands for, what it represents. To me, it's just a bumble of words that I see being typed out in sequence. It doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't make any sense to me. You're just saying random shit while I'm talking. This is more annoying than anything else, Krabby. You understand that, right? I've given you an opportunity to stop spamming in the chat. And out of the last 15 messages, you've typed a few letter sentences. It doesn't help anybody. Thank you. Okay. So the reason why America has started bombing Iran again, it's not because the MOU is doesn't state enough or isn't detailed enough, it's because America was going to do it until it could get what it wanted. And the goal for America is to get a concession from Iran and then use that concession to get more concessions. I don't really get why we started bombing them again. America was trying to sneak ships out of the Hormuz Strait.
Reopening the Strait of Hormuz.
America was trying to sneak ships through the Strait of Hormuz. And Iran found out and started bombing those ships because Iran's like, no, the strait's closed. And then America was like, oh, you're not going to let us just sneak ships through? Okay, we're going to start bombing you then. And Western media started making it seem like Iran was the bad guy. Why is America trying to renege the MOU? America is trying to find some way to weasel its way out of this situation. America's trying to do anything and everything. Sneaking ships out, all coercive tactics, because the loss is clear to everybody, but America wants to pretend like it still holds the cards. It just doesn't. So I think we're stuck in a cycle of escalation, and we spoke about this early on during this war, that Trump really has two choices. It's either to continue on this escalation cycle as he is, or concede. Because Iran isn't going to just concede. Iran isn't going to concede its leverage, which is the Strait of Hormuz. So for America, the question is, are they okay with the situation being less favorable than it was before America started the war? That's the point. There's no de-escalation here. The de-escalation is a mirage. It's the de-escalation is a distraction from what America wants to do. One is fighting for their lives, the other for greed. Yes. And now he's trying to extort protection money out of the Gulf states after not even protecting them. Yeah. Did you see his participation trophy they put up at the National Mall? No, I didn't, Manda. U.S. Americans will never escape the moniker of the child-killing army. Yeah. Oh, it's done. It's done, you know? Like, we've seen it now. American imperialism, we see it. We see what American imperialism is and has been for so long. The veil, so to speak, has been lifted.
And I'm wondering, what about deterrence? Has deterrence failed on both sides here? I mean, the United States cannot force Iran to retreat, but Iran has also failed to stop American strikes. Are we now watching two powers escalate because neither can compel the other to back down?
I agree with you, but
And this is the other false narrative. Again, you got to take what Al Jazeera says with a grain of salt. Of course, it's a Qatari news outlet, right? So Qatar is obviously trying to speak to its own interests and is going to do what it can to, I guess on the Iran subject, Qatar's Al Jazeera is aligning with Western media more than we think. Because what Al Jazeera, sorry, this is DW. I'm saying Al Jazeera. Fuck, I don't know why I said Al Jazeera. DW makes more sense. This is mainstream media. DW is kind of towing the Western media line in terms of making it seem like the war is between two equal sides. Like somehow the fighting here is between two equal sides. Not the fact that America is a global superpower trying to take resources out of the Middle East while Iran is protecting its borders. It's not, they don't speak of it like that because it makes the West look bad. So they have to kind of, they don't mention the asymmetry because it benefits their narrative. But the asymmetry is huge. It's massive. America is the largest military superpower in the history of humanity, probably. Well, not probably, it is. And it is bullying a country that it has sanctioned by weaponizing its financial systems and has implemented coercive tactics within the borders of Iran for so long by murdering its leaders and etc., installing monarchies, all this sort of thing. And the fact that mainstream media is like, oh, are both these people going at it again? It is the craziest narrative to me because they're trying to equate the two sides. They're not equal powers.
I want to add something else. Deterrence collapse also between Israel and Iran, and this is the most important result of this war. I think neither Iran nor the United States or Israel succeeded to impose deterrence on the other side. And the returning back to the large-scale confrontation as we saw it in the last week, and in particular, it is an attempt by the different groups to restore deterrence and to impose their own understanding of the memorandum, which is, I think, almost a very, very difficult scenario. The only way out of this crisis is one of the two scenarios, whether to go for a full-fledged war again, which is not desired by the United States and Iran as well, or to go for a negotiation table. And we saw now the mediators, especially from the Gulf states, Qatar, Oman, beside Pakistan, of course, Egypt, Turkey, are very active really to contain the escalation and to return back to the negotiation table.
So far, they haven't been very successful, but your point is well taken. I don't think anyone wants to see another full-scale war break out. But diplomacy, it just doesn't look very viable at the moment, does it?
Yes, it is, but we lack of other options, whether to go for a full-scale war or to go for diplomacy and to activate the efforts and maybe to bring other parties to the scene. More involvement of Turkey, which with its influence in the United States, Erdogan and Trump personal ties, more activated role by Egypt, others. I think we lack of options, whether to go for a full-scale war or to go for a full active diplomacy.
Iran depends on energy exports and trade through the Gulf. I mean, it certainly is not isolated here. Would attacking the region's infrastructure, would it be a rational strategy if we were talking about war, or would it be an act of economic suicide by a government that believes it has nothing left to lose?
Put yourself in their shoes and try to understand the strategic thinking of the Iranian leadership. For them, this should be the last war against them. For them, it is an existential threat. Exactly. For not only for the future of the regime, but for the mere existence of their country, of their unity, of their territory.
Yeah, Cass, it's such a whack way of reporting, right? The West continues to victimize itself in this moment. In this moment where the West is feeling fragile. And I think it goes to show how mainstream media's narratives can indoctrinate, right? Like for the longest time, I know there are a lot more people who have been I guess aware of how Western media works. I wasn't, honestly. The bit that woke me up was the genocide in Gaza. about how the media works. So some of us have literally learnt over the last 3 years how bad this is. And before that, the media was so effective in painting this picture of the West is the victim and the whole world is coming to get the West, while Western hegemony and white supremacy and American imperialism were all looting the world and have been for so long, while painting themselves as the victims of, now Islamic extremism and all of this shit. But this is the world we're coming to. Is, what do you mean were? Won't somebody please think of the feelings of the poor pedophile monarchy?
Territory integral and all these things for them. This is for the Iranian. They hope that this is the last war they will be involved within. That's why they will be not reluctant to use any card, including this Samson option, including attacking the oil fields, the oil pipelines in the whole region, attacking the neighbor countries. Iran cannot attack the United States in its own territory. That's why they pressure on the United States by attacking their assets in the neighboring countries and their allies as well. And maybe next step, Israel will be part of this. For Iran, there is no way to step back. This is existential threat. And for them, they adopted 3 pillars, the strategy from day one. The war shouldn't be limited to their own geography. It should be regional the day after. Second, oil and energy should be a battlefield on this confrontation. The third, to capitalize in Hormuz Strait as a strategic asset for Iran. Those are the 3 pillars, major pillars for the Iranian strategy in this war.
Well, let's hope, as you said, let's hope that...
So that was actually nice to have this guy's voice, right? Like, to me, this guy was bringing balance to this narrative. So at least DW News did that good thing, which was bring on a person who isn't just a stooge of Western imperialism, and actually someone with a take that balances, that's fair and balanced in so many different ways. That isn't even Iran bias in that way. It's just it feels like he's speaking about the asymmetry and the reasons why Iran's fighting this the way they are. So now I wanna go to BBC. And I want to look at how BBC is covering the fresh American strikes. I think this is where we can analyze mainstream media a little bit.
The US has launched another wave of strikes on Iran. Earlier, President Trump threatened to bomb Iranian critical infrastructure such as bridges and power plants next week if Iran does not return to talks. In the latest wave of strikes, US Central Command said it had hit dozens of targets near the Strait of Hormuz as it tries to stop Iran from being able to threaten cargo ships using the vital shipping lane. Iranian state television said Iran had fired missiles and drones at targets in Kuwait, Bahrain and Jordan. Iran has threatened to block further trading routes in the region. Here's President Trump on his latest move.
We're doing really well with Iran. The Islamic Republic of Iran is not happy right now. Should have been done 47 years ago. Should have been done at least during the 47-year period. And it wasn't.
47-year period. He's talking about from the Iranian Revolution, the Islamic Revolution, as they'll call it. He completely fucking, glazes over the fact that before that, the monarchy that was installed was due to the assassination of Mossadegh in 1953. He won't bring that up. He won't bring that up because he knows that won't make his narrative work. It's the stupidest fucking narrative. It's like, bro, okay, since 79, well, what about 53, dumbass?
Presidents didn't do what was right. They should have done it a long time ago. Would have been much easier. and they want to settle so badly. They don't like what we're doing, and they do want to settle. We'll find out whether or not we settle with them or we just finish it off.
Well, I spoke to Aman Mahmoudian, who's a research fellow at the Global and National Security Institute at the University of Southern Florida, to get his take on what's going on at the moment in the Gulf.
What we are facing right now is the semi-operational collapse of the Iran and United States Memorandum of Understanding. It is not formally dead, but on an operational level, it seems to be the collapse. Specifically speaking, if you look at the latest development, and we have witnessed that the United States is expanding the scope of its strikes against Iran. Up until today or yesterday, most of the strikes were limited to the southern shores of the Iran. But today, Iranian at least reported that the American strikes at the Khorramabad and also some provinces in central Iran, and local sources been arguing that they have heard anti-air defense activities in Tehran, in the capital. If we put all of these together, despite the fact that those strikes in the central provinces were performative shots by the United States to only deliver a message, or were actually a strike against the positions of the Iranians in those areas, this is an expansion of the escalation. And we are right now at the crossroad. One choice that both our party have ahead of themselves is to continue with their strikes. United States strikes against Iran, and Iran strikes against the U.S. base or U.S. allies, as the Iran so far attacked Kuwait, Jordan, and it seems, and some reports also suggest in other areas. And this would evidently escalate, and it might lead to the resumption of the war. The other path, it would be that both parties need to go back to the Memorandum of Understanding, to the negotiation, which would require Iran allowing the shipments transformation through the Strait of the Hormuz, and United States halting the strikes and lifting the blockade on the Iran. I think the coming days would show us better that which direction they are going to choose.
Yeah. In the meantime, what is the fallout?
Well, in the meantime, there are signs that it seems to be positive. Iran, a couple hours ago, have released one of the individuals who have dual citizenship of the Iranian and American, and been detained by the Iranian government since December. While it might sound like a minor incident, it is actually, if we look at the pattern of the diplomatic talks between Iran and United States, it's a good sign. In past, during the President Obama, when Iran and United States were concluding the negotiations over the nuclear matter, which resulted in Iran's nuclear deal, we have witnessed the similar actions from the Iranian, releasing the U.S. citizens and other Western citizens being captured by themselves. It shows that at some level, Tehran has the willingness to de-escalate. And President Trump, it seems to have a positive reaction to it. He said that United States of America appreciated that. And he seems to be involved in that specific matters, because the lawyer of that individual has mentioned that without the President Trump's support, that individual wouldn't have been released. So that's a good sign. This shows that there are talks that are happening behind the scenes, and those talks are positive. However, on a military level, what we are facing is a growth of the strikes from each side. And what is right now ahead of us is that basically we are moving backward, we are regressing toward the day before the conclusion of the Memorandum of Understanding, because the Strait of the Hormuz seems to, at least by Iranian, being shut down, the naval blockade being restored by the United States, the sanctions are back, Iran's attack against the Arab nations, it has started it. United States strikes against Iran not only has started it, but is expanding toward the center of the Iran, which is alerting side. So we are officially at the day before the conclusion of the Memorandum of Understanding, which is a massive diplomatic setback for both sides.
Okay, so yeah, weirdly balanced. I didn't expect that. From I just didn't expect it. Let me just quickly bring this up, because we've got more people here now. So I just want to show you guys this. just making sure that you're all across what's happening. Yesterday, I kind of had a bit of I explained in very, very gory detail about, hey, T-minus 70 stream streak, nice. Why my brother's silence on Israel and Gaza and the situation with his platform is worrying and concerning. And today I decided to go out with a public statement because I think 8 months in this role, and nothing really has changed in terms of, to be honest, it's escalated in the wrong way, in my opinion. So let me read this statement out to you guys. This is a sensitive subject because this is my brother, and I have witnessed 3 years of genocide, and I have witnessed in detail 3 years of what not just Israel, America, and the West has done, but also India's complicity in the whole thing. And Modi's building of closer ties with Israel. And when this happened, I just had to speak up. So this is my public statement on my LinkedIn account. And here goes. I am deeply embarrassed that my brother, Nikhil Ravishankar, the CEO of Air New Zealand, is helping build commercial relationships with Narendra Modi's government while remaining publicly silent on Israel's genocide in Gaza. This is not simply my personal description. A UN commission of inquiry has concluded that Israeli authorities are committing genocide in Gaza. And major human rights organizations have reached the same conclusion. Modi's government has maintained close strategic, military, and commercial ties with Israel throughout that genocide. My brother is entitled to remain silent. I am entitled to say that his silence, alongside his public relationship building with Modi's government, causes me
New follower detected.
Causes me profound shame. Being related to the CEO does not disqualify me from scrutinizing Air New Zealand. It makes the scrutiny more difficult, not less necessary. Family connection does not erase public accountability. So, good night, my love.
Why do you have tears in your eyes?
Tears? I don't have tears. I love ya.
Love you.
Good night.
Good night.
So yesterday, I guess it was a little bit raw. It was, hey, Street Smart. It was a little bit raw yesterday. But now I think I've come to the stage where I want to make this very clear. Okay, I want to approach this as, without the straight up anger that I feel in my soul. I want to approach this as logically as possible, because the anger I feel after watching 3 years of so many people being blown to bits, watching all of this, and someone from my family, building relationships with people who are so closely aligned. Yeah, I'm going to be talking about it a fair bit more. I think it's important. It doesn't like, he's been in this role for 8 months. I'm choosing this moment because Modi came to New Zealand, and I'm deeply upset with what my family is enabling, and I do not condone it. I am embarrassed. It's deeply embarrassing. It is. Yeah, I said what I had to say yesterday. Okay, so.
So there we are.
And yeah. The entire world is encircled by Zionist regimes right now through oil prices. Your anger is not misplaced. Yeah, I don't think that we can stay silent on this, guys. Like, we just can't. We have to use any little bit of platform we have to speak up about it. Otherwise, we are all like complicit in this. Like, what little bit we have to squeeze out. This is the moment. This is the moment. Like, if we don't do it now, when the fuck are we gonna do it, you know? It's fucking, like, tragic, man. To watch this every single day. I mean, they're bombing it right now. Like, go look at the videos that I've reposted over the last 24 hours on X. It's horrible. I want to do my bit. I want to do what I can with whatever I have to bring light to the injustices, and this is the way I see it going.
I'm fairly confident in saying neither of those things will happen. They will not take control of the strait, even though they might have a bit more military presence there, and they will not get away with charging 20% cargo value for ships going through the strait who will still not be safe, whatever the Americans do.
Yeah, Dingafer. I've thought a lot about all of it over the last, few days with my brother taking pictures with Modi and shit. It's just like, bro, this is not me. This is just not me. And I can't just stay silent.
Hi everyone, Neil here. And what's that old line about the best laid plans of mice and men? On this episode, we had intended to talk about the renewed hostilities between the United States and Iran following the spectacular collapse of the already spluttering ceasefire over the past few days. Specifically, I sat down with our defence analyst, Professor Michael Clark, to discuss Donald Trump's claim that the United States would act as some sort of guardian angel for the Strait of Hormuz and charge us all a 20% tariff for the privilege. Now, as you're going to hear, Michael's crystal ball is functioning perfectly because he said there was no way that they...
Roshan, bro, like, I don't even have an Indian passport, Like, I have an OCI, I think, but once Modi finds out that I'm like having a go, I'm sure my OCI will get cancelled as well.
This plan was going to work, and he was right, because hours later, Donald Trump backtracked and announced he wouldn't be going forward with the tariffs after all. The president does insist that the strait has reopened, but with missiles flying and tankers being targeted, what hope really can there be for any lasting peace? Here's my conversation with Michael, of course recorded before the president had that change of heart. Michael, I mean, we've heard many things from Donald Trump over the past few weeks. The latest, we're going to keep the strait and probably own it. What is Donald Trump proposing, do you think?
If he thinks that he can keep the strait open by military means, then he's got 2 carrier battle groups in the area. He's got a Marine Expeditionary Unit. He's got landing.
I have tried so hard in the background to like get him to fucking stand up against this. Like, I have, the language I use is very different personally. Trust me, very fucking different. Well, not that different, but different. Let's put it that way. But I have tried so fucking hard, man. I have tried so hard. I've sent him so many fucking videos, images. Like, nothing has shaken his soul. Like, nothing has captured it. I'm just so disappointed and embarrassed. Anyway, let's keep going. In a gentle way, you can shake the world. Don't feel bad for speaking out. You are the change you want and can disagree, but still hold your family relationship. How I look at it, hearing about your brother or talking about such things to others, of course, up to you, etc. Just given my take with seeing that, yeah.
Ships, he could sail into the straits and fight a battle of the Strait of Hormuz. And if they fight that battle, they will undoubtedly win it. But in winning it, there'll be some losses. They take some hits. Maybe it would result in the deaths or injuries of American personnel. So he could do that, but he won't. For the reasons I've just said, they won't take losses, and he knows that that would be deeply unpopular in the United States. So when he says we'll be guardians of the Strait, it's not clear what he means. I've no idea what he means. And when he says he's going to charge people 20% of the value of their cargo, that is even more ridiculous. And I'm fairly confident in saying neither of those things will happen. They will not take control of the Strait, even though they might have a bit more military presence there, and they will not get away with charging 20% cargo value for ships going through the Straits who will still not be safe, whatever the Americans do.
See, I thought no country is allowed to charge tolls or fees on an international waterway. Now, and the reason I believe that is because that's what Marco Rubio, his Secretary of State, his Foreign Secretary, said just a few weeks ago. So this is just what, posturing, saber-rattling?
Well, I think it's just what he says. I mean, to be honest, I wonder that President Trump has got enough feet to shoot himself in.
I just love him, eh? I love him. I love Michael Clark.
So there we are.
The absolute, cadaver.
I mean, if that man was a centipede, he'd be running out of feet by now. It's completely ridiculous. And I think he just made it up. I mean, I'm sure he didn't talk to anyone who knows what they're talking about. I mean, the White House doesn't speak to anyone who knows what they're talking about these days because they're all in the deeper reaches of the State Department and the Pentagon. And you're absolutely right that the charging of tolls in international waterways is completely illegal unless it is governed by treaty, as it is in the case of the Bosphorus. The 1936 Montreux Convention allows Turkey to charge some charges because Turkey actually has to provide very specific arrangements because the Bosphorus and the Dardanelles is such a difficult waterway.
Because when I think of being charged for a particular shipping route, I think of things like the Suez Canal, the Panama Canal, and there, every ship that passes through pays a fee. How is that different then?
It's different because somebody has to build the canal.
Right.
Because the canal is not a natural waterway. It's something that's been created. And that waterway, therefore, has to be maintained, has to be built, the capital has to be put in, has to be maintained. That's perfectly reasonable, and everyone accepts that. But all
capital has to be put in to maintain it. See, this is why douchebags like this just... Maintenance is an operational task, okay? I'm going to nitpick here. CapEx is new project work, whereas OpEx is operational expenditure. Maintenance comes under operational expenditure, i.e. OpEx. And how is that operational expense made? How is operational expenditure usually spent? How is that money spent? Well, through revenues made. The Panama Canal generates revenue. And it's not, you don't need to keep investing capital to maintain it. You need to keep investing capital in order to add new shit in, new types of boats going through or whatever. Sorry guys, I'm nitpicking. I'm moving on.
All the great straits in the world, the Malacca Straits, the Strait of Gibraltar, the Dover Straits, the Bab el-Mandeb Strait at the foot of the Red Sea, and the Hormuz Strait are natural waterways. And where is this natural waterway? It's quite narrow, like the Channel, 21 miles at its narrowest point, but it belongs to the world. And
No, it doesn't, mother trucker. It does not belong to the world. This is the fucking thing. You know who said it belongs to the world? The West. You can't just... What's happening right now is the global South is going, especially Iran is going, well, the West can't just fucking turn up and call everything theirs.
it is illegal in international law to charge to go through it.
You know what's illegal in international law, bitch? Genocide.
The International Maritime Organization is completely against charges. Yeah. All the Gulf states who depend on it, the Strait of Hormuz, are completely against charges. The United Nations is completely against charges. And as you said,
hey,
Marco
Wilhelm.
Rubio a few weeks ago was
Kaiser
completely
Wilhelm.
against charges, which is why I think Donald Trump, who's thrashing around to find some way of changing the dialogue, because he's losing this war quite badly now. I mean, he lost the war on the 7th of April, if you're interested, when the Americans, as it were, decided that they had to pause military operations. And they went for a ceasefire on the 8th of April. Because
we
the
did see that
military got them
yesterday,
as far as
Kaz.
it was ever
Yes,
going to get.
we went through that.
They could keep hitting Iran, and it didn't make any difference. And that was the point at which they lost the war. So what we're looking at now is the United States trying to maneuver to minimize the strength of that loss. But all independent analysts, even in the States, are saying this, that we've lost this war. And Donald Trump is trying to change the dialogue, change the narrative to somehow get something out of it.
But he's doing so by expanding the scope of what it is the Americans are currently
Yeah,
doing.
it's good.
The strikes
It's
on
good,
Iran,
Habibi.
those continue.
Yeah.
But he's also talking about a blockade of Iranian ports yet again. Now, look, let's just assume for a second that this is not all bluff and bluster. Can the Americans, do they have the capacity to be the guardian of the strait, charge the toll whilst maintaining the blockade and continuing strikes on Iran?
Yes, they can blockade Iranian ports, so they could, because they can see what ships are coming backwards and forwards, so they can make sure that no ships either go into or come out of Iranian ports and get through the straits. So they can do that. But can they?
Crowley, this is why I hate listening to white people talk about this crap. Everything is ours and we make all the rules. Yeah. The rules-based order, or white supremacy, as I like to call it, is fragmenting, and the world is moving towards a more multipolar configuration. And people like this decrepit cadaver have not moved on from the days of, the British being able to mass murder brown people if they acted up, or enslave black people. That's what he still believes the West is, and the West should be. So when he speaks about the rules-based order, it's like, what the fuck are you talking about, bro? It's gone. It's over. It's starting to change right now, and either people like this catch up or they'll be left behind.
They keep the straits open only if they fight for them in ways that I've talked about, and they won't do that. And if they don't keep the straits open, if they can't guarantee the straits open, they can't charge people 20% of their cargo. What it will do is that this claim of 20%.
By the way, freedom of navigation literally meant control. Freedom of navigation meant it's free as long as the West is okay with it. It's never meant sovereignty. And the Strait of Hormuz situation here should show you that. It's very clearly about supremacy and holding on to control of global energy and shipping routes.
20% of their cargo. First of all, it would add to world inflation. B, it would put about $16 a barrel on oil coming out of the Gulf, which is already quite expensive. Now, and that's about a fifth of all the oil coming out of the world. I mean, the way to think of it is there's about 100 billion barrels of oil, 100 million barrels of oil a day traded. 20 million barrels of that is through the Gulf. So all of that goes up, all that 20 million goes up by at least $16 a barrel. So that filters through to other oil prices. So again, charging this sort of tariff would just depress world trade, and it would mean that people would avoid going into the Gulf. They just won't pay it. So I'm fairly sure it's not going to happen.
Even just the practicalities of ensuring safe passage through this part of the world when you've got a belligerent Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps, taking pot shots at tankers right now. I mean,
a belligerent Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps. A belligerent. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That is some whitewashing right there.
What are we talking about? Individual escort?
Yes, and they've done a little bit of that. They've got these Arleigh Burke destroyers. They've got about 17 destroyers, they're very powerful air defence destroyers, and they've been running them up and down the Omani coast to provide air defence.
Right.
But even that has not been good enough. And the two tankers that were hit in the last 12 hours are Emirati tankers, very important. They're VLCCs, very large crude carriers. And these tankers, I think, must have had their transponders off, and they've been going regularly up and down with American escorts, both air and sea, and they've been doing ship-to-ship transfers outside the Gulf. which is the way the Americans and the Emiratis have been trying to get some of their oil to world markets. So fair enough, that's what they wanted to do. But the Iranians have found a way of locating these tankers, and they've sent cruise missiles against them, which begun serious fires on both ships. And that shows that even as part of an American strategy to sneak tankers in and out of the Gulf to do ship-to-ship transfers, they can't keep them safe. So the Americans can provide some guarantees, but to the ship owners and the tanker crews, if the Americans say you will be safe, will they believe them? No, because palpably the Iranians are still capable of hitting tankers, even with American protection.
I mean, talk about having a thick skin. I mean, Donald Trump must have the hide of a rhinoceros on the day that he says, we will be the saviours of the Strait, the guardians of the Strait. There's a movie in there somewhere. You know, the Iranians point out very directly that that's nonsense, that they can't do it.
The Iranians keep showing with their own, with all these weapons they suppose not to have, that they can make the straits dangerous. They don't have to close the straits as such. They simply have to make them dangerous, and ships won't go through. And that's where we are now. What ships are going through, it's a fraction. It's normally 130 odd a day.
Absolutely,
It's now sort of 10, 15, 20 a day on a.
Yeah, it's not just this. It's Donald Trump and J.D. Vance have very clearly said that they have spent the time that there's been this ceasefire after the MOU was signed to fill up global oil stocks so that, you know, they don't have to worry about oil again. Like, they're basically saying what they're going to do to everybody. So why should Iran just be like, okay, well, if that's what you're going to do, then okay, go and do it. We'll capitulate. Like, who the fuck would say that? America's been very clear why they're doing this.
On a good day at the moment, and they're all going through the Iranian route. They're going the northern route, the ones that the Iranians say you're allowed to use with our approval around Larak Island or near Larak Island. And the southern route, the American route, the ones that the Americans say is safe, right, hugging the coast of Oman, around the Musandam Peninsula, on the other side of the strait, the southern side of the strait, the Iranians are able to keep that dangerous. And therefore, physically, the Iranians are more in control of the straits than the Americans. And the only way the Americans can change that is to sail in there and fight for it. And they won't.
Are there any lessons from history here? My mind goes back to the Iran-Iraq War of the 80s. And we had a really similar situation ongoing back then, didn't we?
Yeah, both Iran and Iraq, this between 1980 and 1988, tried to close the whole Gulf. It wasn't just the straits. They tried to prevent shipping coming in and out of the Gulf. And they both tried to do it for their own reasons. And the result then was that ships from various nations acted as convoy escorts. So ships were taken through. In those days, it was actually very difficult to close the Gulf as a whole because it's 500-600 miles of waterway. But now you can close the Gulf as a whole because of modern technologies, because of drones, cruise missiles, which nobody had in those days other than the United States and Russia, and ballistic missiles. Again, in those days, ballistic missiles were only the intercontinental missiles, the nuclear war missiles. But now ballistic missiles with shorter ranges can be produced relatively cheaply. So drones, cruise missiles, ballistic missiles are more useful to any power trying to close the straits than aircraft or mines, even though aircraft and mines can play a role as well.
So we've had 3 nights now of US strikes on Iran and Iranian assets. I mean, has that had any discernible effect on the passage of ships through the Strait of Hormuz? It doesn't seem so.
No, it's a separate thing. In a way, what the Americans are trying to do is to hit the Iranians hard enough across the southern coast and now going inland as well in some raids to deter them, to actually shock them into behaving themselves in terms of ships.
Well, they're not doing enough then, are they?
It's not working. No, it's not working. And the Iranians, for all that their economy is on its knees and they don't have great prospects for the future, they still calculate that they can last longer than the United States, and that this hardline leadership almost certainly can. They don't particularly care what is happening inside their country. That's an argument for another day. Suppressing the population of Iran. Their current argument is to prevail against the United States, and they